impediment vanished, and the man was able to speak clearly. I've been deaf in my right ear for almost all my life, and that's because Irma always yells at me. It's not easy to hear only on one side, and sometimes it can be very awkward and embarrassing. Not just to me, but also to the person who wants to talk to me. But I have learned how to live with it. So, if you're on the right side and you want to tell me something, don't yell at me. Just tap me on the shoulder and smile. But you know what? Being partially deaf can also be a blessing. You heard the saying that men have selective hearing, right? Well, for me, it's pretty legit. But for you guys out there, I don't know. I feel sorry for you guys. Brothers and sisters, in all seriousness, what about our spiritual hearing? Hearing. Is it selective too? Do our spiritual ears perk up only when situations to our liking? Or do we have spiritual deafness when challenges or difficulty comes our way? I'm talking about selective hearing or being partial to the truth of the gospel. Example, sometimes we say they're pro-life and we despise abortion, but do we use contraception and practice anything? We believe in the sanctity of marriage, but do we agree and believe that marriage is only between a man and a woman alone? How about when we say that we love God, but we cannot love that person whom we can never forgive? Sometimes we can be selected only to the laws of God and to the teachings of the church that we only like. How can we fully proclaim the truth of the gospel if we're partially deaf or totally deaf to the truth? No wonder we too have a speech impediment. At one time or another, we are all deaf, and we do not hear what is really important. We don't hear God's voice, but instead we hear all sorts of distracting voice that keeps us from obeying God. St. Mark tells us that he took him off by himself away from the crowd. We need to detach ourselves from the noise around us and to be with God in prayer and healing. St. Mark also told us that Jesus healed a man with speech impediment by opening his ear. It is through the healing touch of Jesus that we can be open to hearing God's voice and tell others about the Lord. Brothers and sisters, being open and taking chance with God is the best cure for spiritual deafness, because the Lord usually speaks loudly and plainly in the trials and difficulties of life. He speaks in the challenging situations, in the family, work, and in our society. But are we listening? Let us ask Jesus to heal our self-imposed darkness, silence, and deafness, and to pray that God will open our hearts and listen to the words of His Son Jesus.